to a brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! ! This is a podcast based on a blog of the same name because it's slightly cleverer than calling a car baby, okay? My name is Kylie and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out the blog at couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com as you're bound to find some common ground for something you like. For at Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU, ! Hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays, and as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panelists and I live lives behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the blog or the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and via Google Play to stay on top of brand new episodes. Around the water cooler and in an ongoing fashion, we discuss a variety of shows, including but not limited to Doctor Who, Downton Abbey, How to Get Away with Murder, Broadchurch, New Girl, Game of Thrones, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, American Horror Story, The Vampire Diaries, Gotham, and The X-Files from its inception through its revival. In addition, more episodes are in the works, including revisits for Once Upon a Time and the mid-season check-in for the DCTU panel covering Arrow, The Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. The Marvel's Defenders panel will be discussing Luke Cage. There will be new panels covering The 100 and Stranger Things, and new series examining Gilmore Girls, including the Gilmore Girls reboot A Year in the Life and Sherlock, and because we also look back at shows now past, a look back at Glee. What's more, CPU, ! From time to time goes live. We've appeared at Comedy Outlet Mondays at Dog Story Theater and at Grand Rapids Comic-Con in Grand Rapids, Michigan while streaming live on Facebook. More live appearances are being planned, so make sure you like us at our Facebook page, our Twitter, follow us at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, and or our Pinterest at CPU Podcast, or subscribe to the blog, our YouTube channel, our iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Play. In the meantime, if you don't hear your show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews, and we're always seeking new panelists. So if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any one of those outlets aforementioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, or review. We like feedback. Just put down your rock salt guns. We're sensitive, like Sam. Today, we're around the water cooler and checking in at mid-season 12 of long-running cult favorite Supernatural, which airs September through May on the CW. Season 12 premiered on October 13th, 2016. Supernatural is an American fantasy horror series created by Eric Kripke. First broadcast on September 13th, 2005 on the WB, it was subsequently part of successor the CW's network lineup. Starring Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester and Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester, the series follows the two brothers as they hunt demons, ghosts, monsters, and other supernatural beings in the world. The series is produced by Warner Brothers Television in association with Wonderland Sound and Vision. Our newly full Supernatural panel, specifically Nick, Jen, Allie, and Kelsey, accompanied by a voice new to the panel, but not to the podcast, has again gathered around the water cooler to discuss the current goings-on of this epic long-running series about the two monster-hunting Winchester brothers. Ready as we always are to hit the road in our trusty 67 Chevy Impala named Baby, and to get started, it should, as always, be noted that all of our panelists have viewed the entire series through the 12th mid-season finale and may discuss sensitive plot points across all the seasons. For those of you who haven't watched any Supernatural and plan to catch up at some point, listen at your own risk, as there are going to be major spoilers. Welcome back, panel. How are you?
Good.
Are you ready to talk about Supernatural?
Yes.
All right. Well, what we're going to do to remind the listener and also to remind the panelists, I'm going to start by taking the temperature of the four returning panelists to see where they are and how they're feeling about the show and themselves nowadays vis-a-vis the show. We're also going to introduce the new panelist to the panel and meet him and find out how he feels about the show, and then we'll get started talking about the 8 episodes that have aired so far this season. Are you ready?
Ready. Yes.
Just to remind the listener, I have not actually changed this character description because if you watch Supernatural, there's a certain, shall we say, consistency about the way things roll on this show, including our characters. But there's only 4 character descriptions, and I remember what everybody said the last time. So I'm going to read the character descriptions, I'll remind them who they are and ask them if they're feeling the same, and then we'll meet the new panelists. Do you watch Supernatural because hunting is your life and or because you love the show, hunting, and or the show about hunting. For you, it's keep grinding until the end or until you die. Also, you're really into Baby, that is the Impala, most fried meats, the awesome use of classic rock, and pie. Or you watch it because your brother watches it, like Dean Winchester, or you're a Dean fangirl, or boy. There's more than one boy now. You watch it because you were reluctantly convinced to watch the show about the lives of two brothers demon hunting, but now you can't imagine your life without the show, or demon hunting. Also, you're deeply concerned by the moral implications of what the brothers do and the inherent good and evil impulses of humans, the beings you hunt, angels and demons. Or you watch it because your brother watches it, like Sam Winchester. You watch it because your best friend watches it, and or because your best friend is deeply committed to hunting, and even though you shouldn't really be involved with his or her actions or decisions, you trust your best friend's judgment and moral center. Also, you don't have the greatest decision-making track record yourself, despite the fact that you're such an angel, like Castiel. Or you watch it because you like to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, and even though you might be the king of hell, you tend to bore easily, and the show clearly entertains you on some level. You at least seem to care about the main characters more than you should. Plus, you enjoy referring to Sam and Dean as Moose and Squirrel, like Crowley. Which of the returning panelists would like to start?
Sure.
Thanks, Nick! Nick, last time you were Crowley.
Yeah.
Are you still Crowley?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. The mid-season, it didn't get any better than what I'm used to. Nothing really changed. I'm not disappointed with it, but nothing was so amazing I need to follow. I will keep watching it because it entertains me. But I don't know. It hasn't gotten back to the first couple of seasons where it was new. So I think I stayed the same. Because it stayed the same.
Okay, good.
Okay.
You were Dean last time.
I was?
You said, even though I relate to Sam, I'm more Dean.
Yes. Ooh, so specific. You remember that, because I sure don't.
I listened to these a few times.
Yes, I'm sure. Hello again. I think I'm still a Dean, only because
What's your name?
Oh, my name's Allie.
Okay, hi Allie.
Sorry. I do love the show very much. I think in some ways, now that I reflect a little bit, I was probably a Sam because I was reluctant to watch it initially, and then I was like super all for it. But I think I'll stick with the squirrel of the two.
So you're Dean still?
Yes.
All right. Welcome back, Allie.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen.
Hi, Jen. You were Dean last time.
I'm going to add Sam and Castiel to that.
The trio.
Yeah.
You're all but Crowley.
I am.
All right.
Why?
Why not? Although, well, Castiel is, I don't know how to... I'm going to be a fan. I like him.
Okay.
I like the actor. I think I'll be a fan of him forever, but I will say his character has gone on a little bit this season. Kind of dry, maybe.
Okay. So now that I think about it, you might have been all but Crowley last time.
I think she was.
I think
Yeah.
I was, too.
You're right. So you're still the same.
So
I'm Kelsey.
Hi,
Hi,
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
You were Castiel. Well, you were kind of all three too, but Crowley, but with an emphasis on Castiel.
Right. I mean, I think I'm still kind of Castiel, maybe a little bit Dean for the, like, ride until you die kind of thing. Like, I feel like I'm so committed at this point, I might as well just keep watching. And also, I have a lot of friends who watch it. Most of them are in this room. So, yeah, and I'm kind of committed to staying on this podcast. So I guess, yeah, that's my answer. I don't know what that means. There's not a character that works, really.
Okay.
I don't think, for how I feel.
Maybe you're Crowley.
I might be leaning towards Crowley.
I know you don't like him very much.
I don't, but I'm okay. I mean, sometimes I become the characters I don't really like when I do these things, so that's possible.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Welcome back, Kelsey.
Thank you.
Before I talk about me, we're going to introduce our new panelist. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So tell us your first name, how it is you came to watch Supernatural, what made you start watching, what kept you watching, how you found out about it, and then pick a character that best aligns with you.
My name is Jeremy. I first started watching Supernatural back in Season 2. I actually watched every episode of Season 1 and 2 in the 24-hour period.
Oh my god.
By the recommendation of a friend. And then I've been a diehard fan ever since. I think the character that represents me the most would probably be Asa Fox. considering I just jumped right
He's
into
not
the life.
on the list.
I know he's not on the list. But I jumped.
And spoiler, he's not around anymore.
I learned about the life and jumped right into it, but now I feel I'm more like a Dean. I watch it because I feel like I watch till I die.
Okay.
Even if I don't agree with what's going on right now.
Foreshadowing. Well, welcome to the panel, Jeremy. Listeners of CPU may recognize Jeremy's voice from our 6 Feet Under podcast that we did, where we looked back at 6 Feet Under. And of course, as the intro stated, my name is Kylie. Last time I was Dean. This time I am Dean. I love Dean. I still love the show.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. I'm not afraid of it if he weren't married and expecting twins. Or did they have the twins?
No, they had the twins.
They had the twins. That's awkward. I still love you. I still love the show. Yes, this season isn't quite as exciting as season 11 was, and we'll talk about that. But it's one of those shows that no matter what they're doing, is still more enjoyable than a lot of other shows on the air right now, and even other ones that I watch when we talk about on this podcast. So I still like Supernatural. So welcome back. Welcome to Jeremy. Let's dive right in and talk about season 12. So season 12 is a very different season from season 11. I have sent out to everyone sort of some of the things that have happened. What I'd like you to do is talk about what you think of the story arc for the season so far. What did you like? What didn't you like? And sort of reflect on some of those things that have happened.
I feel like this season doesn't have that main, like, we're not going against the Leviathan, or I guess Lucifer and the storyline with their mom is there, but it doesn't feel like it has this one main thing that we're following throughout the whole season yet. And it almost feels like we kind of wrapped up what they set up already, and now we have a new problem, which I think is probably the right move for the show, but it doesn't feel like Supernatural right now, is how I'll start.
Is that good or bad?
It's probably good. Right now, I don't know how much I enjoyed those episodes per se compared to other seasons, but I did get into the funk of, this is the main problem we found out about in the first couple of episodes, and they'll probably mention it a couple times, but we won't really do anything about it until 20 more episodes go by. So I do like that. It's just how each episode has presented itself, not the structure of it, that is the issue with me right now.
I agree with that. I think it just doesn't. The previous season just kind of got to the core of Sam and Dane again, and that's what I liked the most about it. Like, it was kind of like going home or whatever. So I think season 12 strayed away from that, and I think fans tend to, because it's such a cult show, I think fans don't appreciate that as much, and I would agree that it's just kind of flat right now. So I'm hoping it'll go upward.
I agree. I mean, when they brought back the mom, it's
Mary.
Yeah, it's not as exciting as I thought it would be with her back. I almost want her to go away now. It's kind of sad. I mean, that and Lucifer, I feel like it's just been really repetitive with him, and
it's
I just
redundant.
I'm over that.
I think I'm more tired of the Lucifer storyline than I am of Mary Winchester.
I agree.
Like, I'm still intrigued by that, depending on if she comes back and decides to be really badass or not, because she's kind of in this wishy-washy place right now. Like, the episode where Billy offered to, like, take her, I was like, maybe they're gonna do that, because she's not really doing much.
I thought they were going to, too.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised she decided to stay, but I'm hoping that because she decided to stay, she's gonna come back and be really awesome. Because I like her. I like the actress a lot.
Oh, I do, too.
And I think it's interesting what they're doing with her character. It's just because she doesn't want to be around the boys right now, it's not as interesting to me because she's off doing her own thing.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Every time somebody comes back from the dead in the show, there's something.
There's a catch. Yeah.
Like, when was it Mary's dad as Skinner? Like, there was not as Skinner. Skinner from Xbox. A similar kind of thing, and maybe they're trying not to, because that's what I expect. I expect there to be something wrong where she does, instead of them literally just dealing with the emotions of, last time I saw you, you were babies, and I've missed everything, and it's, so I'm waiting for something more to happen.
It does seem like there's something else off about her, other than that. which is intriguing to me, actually. I just think that they have a lot of plot lines going on, once again, and I feel like sometimes that's the downfall of a lot of the CW shows that I like, where for a while they have these main central plot arcs and maybe some subplots and whatever, but it feels like we've got the British Men of Letters, we've got Lucifer, and we've got Mary, and it's like, it's a lot to keep track of, and then it becomes not even overwhelming, it becomes underwhelming somehow, even though there's so many plots.
When shows do that, I get the same feeling as like when a commercial comes on, when one storyline is interrupting the other one. And sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah, where like
Because
you want more of that story, and then they're like, and here's this other plot, and you're like, wait, go back.
Well, maybe Mary will be the one who breaks him out of prison.
It just feels more like a quantity over quality kind of storylines.
Yes, yeah.
Like they're introducing all these other storylines that I'm just like, I like all of them. They're just not the Lucifer stuck in the cage, Dean and Sam are vessels of the angels, etc. They're not the major storylines. They're more of a minor storylines. So they're just all crammed together.
Yeah.
Although I do like the fact that the Mary storyline, her interaction with Sam and Dean, like, how would you feel if you came back from the dead and your kids were older and like you have this whole dynamic to deal with, as well as hunting, like just even normal life. If you came back from the dead, like, come on now, give her a little bit of break. I do like the fact that Billy offered to take her, and she looked like she was kind of willing. That immediately kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, don't go. You just came back. Dean's going to cry. If I see Dean cry, I'm going to cry. And then we're all going to cry.
I thought it was fun, too, how they had that like little moment with her and Castiel, where it was like, yeah, this is how, you know, like where they were relating to each other because they had both experienced sort of that culture shock of her coming from
New cell phones.
Right, for the cell phones, computers in general, and just, that was kind of fun to see, I thought. I enjoy that Castiel still calling people ass butt.
He should always call people ass butt.
It's iconic.
Wow.
I think one of my favorite Mary moments, because Mary coming back to the show has been a dream of mine since, like, she died, basically, because
So there's been
season 1, the first episode, just because I like her character a lot, I like the person who plays her a lot, and I think what she brings to, again, the dynamic of her and the boys and that kind of thing is really essential, because we've seen their times with John, but we haven't seen Mary. It's just been brief, I think, in season 1 where there was that home episode and she's like a ghost or whatever, but we haven't seen her alive, actually. So
And the time travel ones.
Yeah.
oh, that's true.
There's some flashbacks of her.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun to see the things that Dean has inherited from her that you would assume he got from his dad.
yeah. I think she.
I always had the inclination that Dean was way more like his mom because I feel like Sam and John are so similar, personality-wise.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that'll be good to see because we saw her in those time travel episodes, but wasn't really a lot of substance to her, so I think bringing her back is a good thing. And I think one of my favorite moments was when I think they're texting back and forth, and he says, like, can I still call you mom, or something like that, and she's like, well, yeah, I'll always be your mom. Like, that was so cute. I love that so much, so, yeah.
I actually wrote down a quote when I was reading or watching the episodes. She says, I miss my boys, and even though they're still right in front of her, they're not her boys right now.
Exactly.
They're somebody else's. She says, for every moment I spend with you, it reminds me of moments I lost with them. She literally says that to her kids, and it's like, oh, that's hurtful almost, in a way.
I have to say that I agree with the sentiment that there's a lot going on right now, and none of it is really like, it's almost like what you were saying, Nick. It's like they start it and the ball gets rolling, but then, quick, over here, we have to keep this ball rolling. It's like they're juggling plates almost. And I don't know if maybe part of it is the availability of the Mary actress, because she does have other projects going on. I have to say that her part of the show, I agree with Kelsey, her part of the show is the most intriguing to me and is my favorite part of what's going on right now and is actually what's keeping me engaged. The Men of Letters thing I could care less about. I don't understand what's going on.
Here's how I feel about the Men of Letters thing. Like, they do have cool toys, first of all. Like, that The introduction of that character in the last
Mr.
episode?
Ketch, was it?
Yeah, he's cool. I like him so far. But I really loved, I know, sorry, I just like tech, apparently. But I really loved, what was the chick's name?
Her real name is Elizabeth Blackmore. She played Valerie on The Vampire Diaries.
Didn't like her in that.
Okay. I liked her. What was her, badass assistant's name? That was awesome. I tried to Google it and I couldn't find her.
I feel like she said Susan,
Okay.
but I'm not positive.
Whoever that was, I was real pissed that she died so quickly and so easily because I liked her a lot and I wanted to see her on the show more.
The whole men of letters thing that bothers me the most is, in a huge way, it's the problem I have with a lot of times we see other hunters and how they think of Sam and Dean. And this was escalated where they think they're horrible at what they do. Mm-hmm. When I doubt they've dealt with literally Lucifer, God, all the crazy stuff that is a once-in-a-lifetime Armageddon type situation.
I'm pretty sure we got confirmation that they hadn't when they, he pulled out that egg thing and they're like, does it also take angels out of people? And he's like, what are you dealing with? That was pretty cool.
I thought it was a good schism, England and America kind of thing, because the English are so posh.
Yeah.
So, of course, if they're dealing with monsters, they're going to be like, oh, they don't survive more than a night in our city, etc. Blah blah blah.
Right.
And us Americans, we're animals, so we just deal with it with knives and blades and whatnot. And they have cool eggs that suck the souls out of things.
Well, I thought that was just for Lucifer.
So I did like that little play on.
No, they were using it
demons.
They were using it for
demons,
and
instead
the
of
brothers
exorcisms.
decided to use it on Lucifer.
So I did like that play on the fact that most people think that Englishmen are better than.
Well, and it also kind of had this 007 feel. With
I
thought, which was kind of interesting.
America's just so big. There's so many places for all these monsters to hide.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just don't know why we're supposed to care. I mean, I love England more than
any of us.
But I'm just I don't know why I'm supposed to care about the British men of letters other than they're coming over and torturing people for no
What worries me is I don't know what the end of the season or big arc is going to be, and it feels like the Mary storyline isn't going to be a big enough thing to fight at the end.
She's going to sacrifice herself.
I feel
right,
like
but
they need to
against
do
the
something
what?
drastic.
Who's the villain?
Well, and this is okay. So let's talk about Lucifer for a second. So we should mention that Lucifer this season was played by none other than Jesse's girl, Chanteur, Rick Springfield. Only he was dressed like Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
You do the math. I don't have it. Okay? Because even Lucifer wearing the Rick Springfield meat suit was hanging around with Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
It was just really weird. And he was the front man for a apparently washed up hair band
Lady
called
Death.
Lady what?
Lady Death.
Isn't it Lady
Heart.
Lady Heart.
Sorry.
I don't think it's Death. They're not that gaunt.
They looked it.
They tried. They're posers. That was the whole thing that Dean was mocking Sam about.
Rock music.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did enjoy that scene
That
in
banter.
when he
Impala?
had in the Impala when he
And
had
he
the
was like,
earphones
it's a
in.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's a history podcast about the Protestant Reformation.
Yeah, and then
It's
he
5 hours
enforced
long.
it, and- that was pretty great. I pretty much knew right away, too. I was like, yeah, maybe, but I'm pretty sure you're listening to that band.
Yeah, it's the band.
Exposed. No, I watched the writers actually talk about why they chose Rick Springfield specifically, and it made sense because at first I was like, why would Lucifer choose a rock star of all people? But then they were like, well, he kind of just likes to be the center of attention at all times, and so to be there and have that crowd influence, and I think that made a lot of sense, and that was smart on their part.
And they
Well, I
continued
totally-
with that theme of being the center of attention with not just a politician, but...
But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
president, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that, because the whole theme of the first half of the season for Lucifer as a character was, God abandoned me. Daddy abandoned me again. So what do I have to do? Cry for help. Cry for help. Cry for attention.
Basically, he's having a temper tantrum.
He did that by I don't know what to do now, so let's just kill some people. Or
Right.
It was.
And then he found that adoration and really vanity. He was getting high off vanity, basically. He was
pride
committing
again?
his 7 deadly sins.
Wasn't that his first fall? Pride.
Pride. That's the same thing. Pride and Vanity.
Yeah.
Same side of the same coin.
There's a lot I don't get.
Please,
If he wants to be worshipped, why doesn't he just try to be worshipped as Lucifer, since he has these powers?
Because they were saying that there was so much,
his followers were douchebags.
well, yeah, first of all, he was like one of these, like, little teenage kids
The
worshiping.
demons in hell are all millennials.
That too. But also,
Sorry, Allie.
because of the whole like, Judeo-Christian thing, his name has been tainted by all the Christians, so it's
did say
not
that.
so it's not so easy for him to just get people to worship him.
His
What if he just murders
is
the
not
people
where
who-
it should be.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly
I just
it.
feel like if he just murdered people who didn't follow him, like if he would be more like Lucifer instead of this I don't know.
He needs some like PR work to like fix his reputation.
He had that girl, and he scared her away by killing people in a limo.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
She
I liked her, by the way. She was a good actress.
Yeah.
She was. I enjoyed the moment when she said I quit. Because it was hilarious. It was
Because people
perfectly
will
timed.
sell the shows for the devil, but not work for them.
Right.
Well, he also killed the whole band.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he was really, really, like, impulsively killing people. Like, snap, snap, snap. You're next.
And in season 5, he had a purpose. Like, he was trying to cause the apocalypse.
But
Yeah, and now it's
he
not
even
like
said
he
he didn't
just-
really have a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I personally am not fond of him being back. I mean, I like the potential of Mark Pellegrino coming back, I think is how you pronounce his name, because I loved him, and he was one of the best I think Supernatural has had. It's just, like we mentioned before, it's just redundant. Like, I feel like we need to find, I mean, it's gone on for 12 seasons, so you're probably gonna come full circle at some point. I'm hoping they find a new way to surprise us.
Or like a new purpose for Lucifer, so
Exactly,
that he
like
doesn't seem
something.
so...
Well-
Lucifer's done.
Well, now that
Well,
so let's talk
that's
about
the air.
Segue!
Yeah, let's talk about a plot point and a question. So one of the major things that came out of Lucifer's, because he not only wore Rick Springfield, he also wore the President of the United States and
Yeah.
became Lotus, Lucifer of the United States. I know, but was the show making a larger political reference there?
More than
I
likely.
I find it hard to
fun.
watch a show. So shows do this all the time where they don't have the actual president be the president in their world. But it's really hard in an election year to dissociate from that.
Yeah.
So that was hard for me a little bit. But what were
Well,
you
this president was pretty religious. But anyway, the point about it is, is that this president, while possessed by Lucifer and having a mistress, created a spawn.
Yeah.
Which is cool, I think.
Yes.
I'm excited
That's-
about that
that's
potential.
That's the
I think that's where we're going in the second
Well, are we
half.
going to do another Amara thing where their birth is sped up or their growth is sped up? Or how
Well,
is
yeah,
it gonna
don't you
go?
know how the Antichrist growth rate?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
how
it's
did Rosemary's
3-1,
Baby
right?
do it?
Well, I remember in season 5, like way back when they had, I believe it was
The olden
I
time.
can't remember each
ye
season.
olden
What?
times.
It's too
Season 5 was the big apocalyptic battle between
cage.
Michael
Yeah,
and
it was the
Lucifer.
best
and
little
Sam
issue.
was occupied by Lucifer.
There was one kind of filler episode a little bit, but I think they had, it was a kid, but I
It
don't
was. He
remember
was in the
demons.
middle of, like, what was it? Like, Kansas or something.
Yeah.
And things were weird were happening around him.
Yeah, the
because
girl-
he was the Antichrist.
Yeah, because the
Was
girl
that the
who
one where the
was-
cows were like falling over and stuff?
Yeah. No,
Or was that a vampire?
I don't know about the cows. I know, like,
so long ago.
things he was wishing for were happening.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the girl.
And this is 7 years ago, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember this at
You know
all.
what's so...
It's probably 7 years.
Sorry.
It was kind of
First,
blip on
and
the
I'll say what
radar.
I was gonna
He
say.
went into hiding with the other hunters, and then nothing else happened with him.
I believe, well, what happened was the girl herself was pregnant and then she got possessed. And then she birthed the child while possessed, so he was like a demon spawn kind of thing. So I think what happened to him is like Sam was trying to console him because was around the time of his powers and sort of thing, and he still had guilt from that. So he was trying to get him to go to safety, and then he ended up running off by himself, and we never saw him again. Which that was a really cool episode. So if they reference that somehow, I don't think they will, but they
And
might.
Maybe
You know
they'll-
what they
they'll bring
might,
him back.
because have you guys noticed how often they're like in this season flashing back to stuff that happened
Yeah.
forever
In the
ago.
dead house. I
Yes,
guess.
I'm like,
Oh yes,
Yeah,
one episode where they referenced. I think it was when they were in Los Angeles, and he was like, Dean said something about, "Oh, do you remember like we were here 10 years ago fighting a vengeful spirit?" And it's that episode where they're like on a movie set. Like I love those details like that. I think that's super cool.
Don't let me forget the plot point to kind of, because this is way off the tangent, but the episode, it was the episode where they had the religious family, and
this
there was
season?
this season,
Yes.
the daughter named Magda. They were all
Magda.
clearly
Oh, yeah.
named after biblical people. Magda's clearly short for Magdalene. Do you think she was one of Azazel's psychic children? Because that was hit very hard
Yes.
in the Then and Now segment.
Because I think Sam said something about how his powers weren't completely dormant or something like that.
Or he said he thought they were
He
gone,
thought
but
they
he
were.
wasn't
Yeah,
sure they
that's
were
what it
gone.
was.
Yeah.
Do you think that...
I never thought they were gone.
Yeah, I didn't think they were
No,
gone.
I think they were just repressed somehow,
Or
subconsciously.
he was choosing not to,
I don't know.
using them.
I don't know. That was a cool episode, though. I really enjoyed
I
that
liked
one.
that
Yeah,
episode.
that was
American Nightmare.
That's it.
American
American
Nightmare.
Nightmare.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked that episode. And then my least favorite episode was the Hitler episode.
Really?
I killed Hitler!
I know. I'm unpopular.
That's a new tagline now. Come on.
I mean, and that's fun. Like, I'm okay with him walking around saying he killed Hitler, but I just was not interested in the Thule at all.
I agree with you. on
And
that
it
one.
just felt like a giant interruption to all these plot
It
points
felt
we
like
already
a
had.
Scooby-Doo episode that had no morals to it.
Yeah.
Supernatural's notorious for those weird filler episodes.
And I always hate them when they happen.
No, I
Almost
I
always.
normally do too, but in this season, most of the, I call them Scooby-Doo episodes, they tended to have more of a moral implication, and there was more of a point to them, and they were more tied into the mainstream storyline than they had ever been in the past. Like,
Oh, that's
if you
very
look
true.
past the seasons 1 through 11, all the Scooby-Doo episodes were just generic filler. And
Yeah.
now, in this season, they're not. They actually have a point and a purpose to them,
Yeah.
which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, but that's a very
Including-
good point.
Did you hear? I killed Hitler.
I mean, okay, I guess maybe I missed it then. So what is the point of that episode other than for Dean to just walk around saying he killed Hitler?
Check your notes.
I don't know that there is a point to
That's
that
what I'm
one, other
saying.
than
I
killed
felt like it was just obnoxious to me.
The episode
think
also
that-
seemed rushed. Like by
It
the time
was
Hitler is alive again. Great. Oh, he's dead. Like
Did
Well,
anyone
I
catch-
also thought it would have been more fun if Hitler was reincarnated in that girl and not the already immortal Thule dad guy
Yeah.
that was a Nazi, because then he played him like, "Ah!"
Did anyone catch the two things I caught, and I don't remember them. I see them from my notes, but I'm not quite sure what they were about. There was a Harry Potter metaphor in there, in the Nazi one. And there was a dig from the Nazis about millennials.
There was.
I caught that.
I think I
Because
recall
the
that.
son was a millennial, the
was the
son
Harry
of the
Potter
leader.
And there was a Harry Potter, maybe it was
It's
about
just that he
Voldemort or
was like-
something.
Oh, maybe
I don't remember.
who must not be.
Oh yeah, because Dean was like, and Sam was like,
Oh, it's from
Yeah.
Harry Potter. And he's like,
Yes.
of course you know that.
And the
Yeah.
other thing is, Thule. Does anyone remember Ghostbusters?
yes,
Yeah.
There is only Thule.
yes.
It's cool, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's the one.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw-
Well, that would have been cool if it was
Ghostbusters.
accurate, I guess.
We have a more accurate Ghostbusters
I don't think it
episode.
was meant to be a Ghostbuster.
No, obviously not. No.
No, although
would've been cool.
I do think it would be fun to make shirts that say like the Thule are tools or something like.
Thule
I feel like there was a play there that we could have used.
We could do this. We could sell this.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like
I
they're
know
not,
someone.
He does not.
I feel like Supernatural might not be running out of ideas because bringing Hitler back could have been a bigger story arc too, and they just did a one-off.
I
Which
saw.
I guess is
Yeah, but
maybe
they
a
already,
good
they already
thing.
had that season that crashed and burned. I mean, the Leviathans.
Season 7.
Sorry.
We don't
Which
speak about that
Hated that season.
Yeah, I did.
This panel universally agrees that was the low point for the series.
They could have done so much more with the Leviathan, and then
I feel like it.
Plus,
Never mind.
Bobby died in that season. Like,
did he?
That was the only
That
high point.
I think
Air
so,
quotes?
because it added something to it, and I think some grief. Which
Was that still the season where they had him come back, or was that season 8?
I think that was season
As a
8.
ghost.
He comes back a few times.
tied to his
Bobby?
hat.
Was that
yeah.
in
Season 8.
Okay.
Yeah,
I enjoy that Cass still has no sense of humor. That makes me happy. Like when
classic, yeah.
what's his name called him Halo, and he's like, "My name is Castiel," and I laughed out loud.
Do you think he'll ever get one?
I don't.
I think he's spent so many millennials as a
So
many millenniums in Angel that he will never actually learn how to actually be human.
No, which is
But-
funny
which is
because
awesome.
during those first 5 seasons, we got that flash forward of him post-apocalyptic being adored by these women, and he was totally human then, like very. And it's so interesting.
Sin makes
that,
you human.
apparently.
Yeah.
To go back to the plot point now. So we have
What plot point?
the Satan spawn, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, also, sorry, this actually goes with that, but Lucifer's never had sex before? Was that?
That was kind of weird.
I was like, really?
Give the devil.
Wait, what?
How long was he? He went straight into the cage. From
Well-
Angel to cage, I thought.
No, there was the fall.
He fell right into the cage.
I don't think he did.
He didn't
He
fall
was
into a vagina.
in Sam. Sam's had sex. Maybe why
Not
didn't
as
he?
not
as much as
apparently
Dean.
not
No, just
Lucifer was
exists.
possessing him. I just think it's really funny, especially with all the lore about like people having sex with the devil and stuff. Maybe he
Well,
doesn't
'cause-
count butt sex.
Didn't he?
Well, it is a sin.
Did he breed the lust?
I'm just saying, there's a lot of lore about sodomy with the devil, so maybe he didn't count that. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Allie, what was that?
Oh, I said, didn't he breed lust though? Like it just doesn't really end up.
In the Bible, yeah.
Yeah. So-
That's. I was just so surprised at that line. Of like,
The
Maybe he was
mysteries.
above sex. He didn't have time for it. He's higher. He had more priorities than that.
Who
But
was
he
he
did sex as a
higher
rock star? Like when he was in...
Yeah.
Well,
That guy's
No,
no,
it's
he
made
didn't. It was
women- no,
the
he did
president's mistress. Yeah.
I know, but that isn't that...
I thought he had sex with the groupie as Rick Springfield.
I don't think he actually did.
No, I think he just killed her and made her,
He just
made her cut herself, which is really, really weird.
I don't think that.
Maybe
There was
he
a bed
knew
scene.
about the Nephilim.
The Nephilim?
Nephilim.
Nephilim. Maybe he knew about that.
And
It's
where
like
did I
weird.
It seemed like it was a foreign concept to him, or like it was a new thought when he thought about it.
Yeah,
when he
so
was
now
on
maybe
it.
this is his intention, and that's why it,
Because I was gonna say maybe that's what he meant by that. Like it felt like the first time because it's the first time he actually impregnated
Yeah, because
somebody.
I
or
wasn't.
created anything.
Yeah, that's what I took it as. Like I didn't take him as like saying he was a virgin.
It did
It
seem
would
like
have been
that,
funny,
though.
but no, it was in the moment where it was the idea had already come to him, and there was sort of a playing look, and he was actually kind of being tender with Kelly, the mistress, and yeah, then he says that. So,
What was your plot point thing?
I know.
well, the other than
Lucifer.
Satan's spawn, then there's the whole situation where they used the Men of Letters egg thing with the hieroglyphs that they got from this cage guy, who was apparently fascinating, and they extracted Lucifer from the President of the United States. But where did Lucifer go? Because I don't think he went in the
I was
egg.
really
He
mad
went
at the fact that
in
he went
the
down
vent.
a freaking vent.
Yeah.
Part of him went into the vent because the other part did go into the egg. It was
Or stayed in the
small
president.
part went into
Maybe
the
he went to purgatory, and they're like bringing that plotline back.
I don't know.
Like I feel like he's kind
I
of
hope
high
not.
up for
That's-
purgatory.
that was
Purgatory was lame.
I don't know.
Well, it was black and white,
By
so
definition.
I'm just thinking, even if part of him is in the egg, I don't think that egg's going to hold him.
No,
The
yeah,
egg was
you're
meant
right.
to extract demons, and the Men of Letters guy was like, what? Using that to extract an angel? What? So I don't think it's meant to be a long-term fix for Lucifer. And since he's bred Satan's spawn, he's probably coming back.
and she's still pregnant. Like
She's still
She
pregnant.
said-
She ran away from Castiel.
She
what
said
if he
she
makes
didn't
his
wanna
way
get rid of
into the unborn baby?
What if, who, what?
Lucifer.
And he
Lucifer
reborns as himself.
possesses? Oh, no.
Maybe this will spark Sam's powers a little bit, having like another child, because he was almost the child of Azazel in some ways. So I don't know. Maybe that'll like ignite it.
That
Well,
would be a
that's
really
why-
cool storyline,
Yeah.
actually.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I enjoyed Sam when he had his powers,
Yeah.
even though like it almost killed him. And, you know, he was
I-
sucking
he
on
comes
human
back.
blood.
Yeah, I feel like they're setting the stage where Sam ends up either being psychic again, or Azazel's child, if you will, or where he ends up being Lucifer. He ends up being tricked into being Lucifer's vessel again, because he's the only vessel that will hold. Keeps using up all the other ones because they're not his vessel. Sam is his vessel.
I'd thought that he might be tricked into either being the person who raises Lucifer's spawn, or is the Guardian Lucifer's spawn?
That would be interesting.
What if Mary ends up being the guardian of Lucifer's
Oh, that
spawn?
would be weird. Oh, that's good, actually. I like that.
Showrunner.
She was brought back by the darkness.
Maybe that will be her purpose, because she has none right now.
Well, and I
That's what
feel
Billy
like
said.
I feel there's going to be an either or for Mary by the end of the season.
Well, 'cause
she's either going to die again because that's just their track record.
It's kind of a parallel right now with Lucifer and Mary and just not having a purpose. And I don't know if that's just a fault in the writing part or if there's actually an objective to that.
Well, the writers have changed quite constantly over the last 12
that's
years.
very
So,
true. Yeah.
like, they have been. It's been a weaker show for the last 7 years.
Except for 11. 11 was really
11
good.
was one of the best seasons.
Yeah.
Arguably.
11 was like the greatest hits,
But-
but the best picked greatest hits.
But
Yes.
the way it led into 12, oh, God, it's terrible.
The way it led into 12.
What do you mean?
Like,
11
Amar
kind of
and
just
God,
ended, and then she was like, oh,
Amar
here's
and God leaving, you're just like, oh, we're done here, we're good. Let's go.
That's not
It's a
what they
wrap.
said. They said they had to go fix some things with each other. And I bought that because God has taken long sabbaticals before. Chuck hasn't been on the show every
What's he
season.
playing skee ball down in New Jersey?
I mean,
Well, he was.
Yes, Dogma.
Thank you. Somebody got the reference.
We made a Dogma reference last time.
I was here last time.
Maybe the big bad will be movie, the golden calf.
I think Lucifer's trying to be the golden calf.
Lucifer's always trying to be the golden calf.
Lucifer's got cow issues.
It feels like they're constantly trying the same things over and over again, and nothing's really working. They're like, oh, Lucifer couldn't win the first time as being Lucifer, so let's try him with something else now. And then, oh, that didn't work, so let's try the darkness. That didn't work. Let's try this.
I just don't think Lucifer is as interesting unless Mark Pellegrino is playing him.
he's just so
agree.
When Mark
brilliant.
Pellegrino appears, he makes Lucifer instantly charismatic. Like, otherwise, he's just the devil in a less than actor suit.
Yeah, the Rick Springsteen thing. Ugh.
Every person that he has gone into, like,
I liked him. I liked Rick Springfield.
I mean, he was okay.
I mean,
but
I
he's
didn't love
not-
him as much as
Mark
Mark
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
I just kept wanting to sing, I wish that I had just seas go. Do, 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 do.
I grew up with Rick Springfield, so I have that image from the 80s, and he is nowhere anymore like that. So,
No, he's not.
But
He's aged.
every character that has come on to play Lucifer, I've always compared to, the acting of Mark. I
Right.
think. Is it? Oh,
Misha Collins kind of matched up a little bit in some ways, I think, to him.
I think he
but
did
it's
the best he could.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I thought he did a good job.
he
You're
said
right.
he went back and studied Mark's, like, mannerisms and that kind of thing. Like, I think he did a fair job, but again, he's
Yeah, I
Lucifer.
agree.
Yeah, like, you can't really have Lucifer without Mark Pellegrino. So hopefully they bring him back. I don't know. They've been sort of hinting at it, I feel like, at conventions and that kind of thing, so...
I hope so.
I want to know how that nerdy teenage kid got a hold of an actual fossil of Lucifer's feather.
Right.
Like,
the millennial?
yeah, I'm like,
We'll never
Sorry,
find
It's the
out.
theme of this podcast.
We'll never
I
find
think.
out because he snapped their necks too.
He snapped everyone's neck. Jesus.
He killed all
he
the
couldn't
people.
have at least, like, made their head explode or something. Like, I don't know, something cool.
Or, I don't know, made him
cheaper.
into his follower, because he obviously was anyway, and he wanted fans,
that's
and then he
true.
just snaps their necks, and we go, that's
There was
weird.
some lots of inconsistencies rolling around in Lucifer's head this season.
He's just
I
got to
think Lucifer was the low
focused.
point of the season.
Yeah.
The
Which is
fact that he
unfortunate.
spawned
I don't know.
a
I put the
child.
Men of Letters
Oh,
below.
yeah, I think Men of Letters
I
are
would put
lower.
the Men of
And
Letters.
I
Okay,
loved...
see, and I enjoyed them. I just didn't think they'd be around this long anymore.
I mean, it kind of made sense because even the American Men of the Letters, they were sort of like, I know Henry, when he met Sam and Dean, he's like, oh, you're hunters? Like, you're not as... Like, he was more pretentious, so, like, they kind of made sense. And I actually liked Valerie on the Vampire Diaries a lot. I'm sorry. Like, I was sad when she left, so, yeah, I don't know. It didn't bring a lot to the show, but I guess it was something.
It created a false sense of urgency around Sam because she obviously didn't shoot him to kill, and we knew that in the season finale.
Like, you just don't kill Sam and
And
Dean.
then they just didn't go anywhere.
They're going to come back anyway.
Exactly. Like,
what's the point of them? Why do we care? How do we know they're doing it right? I don't care about it at all. I much more care about Mary and her making up her mind, and Lucifer, where did he go? I don't think he's gone because he's having a baby. That's all I'm saying.
I more care about the bromance between Crowley and Cass right now.
That is true.
Amazing.
We do have Cass and Crowley, part 2. How did you guys feel about that?
It's great banter.
Kelsey,
I'm rolling my eyes.
I loved Cass's indignation about the whole thing.
I enjoyed Cass being Agent Beyonce. That was
That was good.
I love Crowley's willingness to play devil's advocate, as it would be, I guess.
Also, his mom's back, Rowena.
Okay.
Which I know
I
you
have
were
to
a
say,
fan for.
Rowena, like, she scored some points to me this season. I was really impressed with her just because the turnaround because Rowena is a power monger. She wants to be in that position of power, and in every other season, she's double-crossed everyone else just to be in power. And in this one, she literally stood her ground, and she jacked up Lucifer. She's like, oh, not only am I not going to make your vessel really powerful, I'm going to make it decompose twice as fast, and then I'm going to send you to the bottom of the freaking ocean.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is awesome. And then she told the Winchester, she's like, I'll be there if you have him in the corner. I have your back. I'm like, that's some points for her.
I've always liked her, and I
Her
like
the
her
actress
more
is
now.
amazing.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
I love Rowena.
Yeah.
I
I
wish she
feel
was
like
my
last
mom.
podcast, nobody.
Yeah,
liked
no, I did.
She was hated.
It was me and Kylie.
Yeah, we
know
had
that.
season.
I liked her. These guys didn't like her because
But I will say
she
she's
she
gotten
does
better
do
this
some
season.
annoying things.
Yeah,
I'll
she
give you that.
has
but I
been
like
better.
her.
There isn't as much, like, needless caterwauling between her and Crowley.
I like Crowley because he's a convenient character, because he just kind of goes with what's best for him, like whatever benefits him, which is selfish, of course, but he is a demon after all. So it's nice because he can still stick around, and there doesn't necessarily have to be a purpose to him, and yet he's still, like, fun to watch, I think.
He's still got a purpose. He's trying to be the king of hell again.
This was probably talked about back in the prior podcast, the nod to the Mr. Crowley role. Anybody know the historical figure of Mr. Crowley?
No, enlighten us.
He was an alchemist back in the Middle Ages who apparently made a deal with the devil. And that's I think that's where they got the name Crowley from, was because that was who they were trying to imitate.
That's so cool. I didn't
Interesting.
know that.
I know
Or is
they
that
were
what
having...
It's also from Black Sabbath.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the
They
character
nodded to
picked
that as well.
name. Didn't the character change his name? Because
It's
he's
been
Fergus.
a long time.
Fergus.
I don't know.
I think he has a
Fergus.
different last name too,
He does have a different
and I think
last
he
name.
chose that name.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm certain about
Well,
is that they're heavily
but
influenced
Historically,
by the
Crowley
Hellblazer
chose his name
comic.
too.
Yeah.
What did you say?
What?
I said the only thing I'm sure about Supernatural in terms of their inspiration is that they're heavily influenced by the Hellblazer comic, the one that's got Constantine in it.
It's like way over my head, but yeah.
I love that. I love Constantine.
One of my biggest problems with the season was the last episode. I feel like they didn't write it well enough that I believed Sam and Dean were stuck getting
Agreed.
caught.
Like, why couldn't Castiel just
Yeah.
transport
There
them
was
out of
another
there?
room that it was attached to. Why couldn't Castiel just stay there and erase everyone's memories?
Yeah,
I
agree.
felt like it wasn't a good enough cliffhanger to end
rushed.
on, because they shouldn't have, they easily could have gotten away.
I agree.
And even if they are in federal custody, we all know that that's like a blink of a temporariness. You know, it's like that's one of their weakest mid-season finales.
But
They're not going to rot in jail. Sorry. It's not gonna happen.
I'm excited about it though, personally, because I liked the episode when they get arrested. I think that was like in season 2-ish. Yeah, because his hand's broken. I think Sam's hand is.
That was before they had an angel on their side.
That's very true. But I think that's
He didn't come till 4.
I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think because it's
Maybe there'll be a haunted
reminiscent of
prison,
that.
and that'll be the next 5 years.
No,
It's like Folsom Prison Blues or whatever when they did have a haunted prison.
there was one episode that I really wanted to talk about that I thought resonated very well with me, and probably most of you, if you're diehard fans, was the celebration of the life of Asa Fox. I thought that was
Well, you did try to insert Ace of
I
Base in the
did,
character
I did.
list.
Chose one of your 4.
Just thought that was a very, very, very well done episode. It
was a well-done episode.
It gave you this insight into the hunter life that you didn't see before, and it made all these connections with Mary and Asa and even some of the friends and everything, and it let you believe what kind of a close-knit society the hunters were, especially when they kicked what's his name out, the guy who ended up killing Asa. accidentally.
That guy. We don't need to know his name.
Bucky.
Yeah. When he was
I didn't
literally
think about it.
banned from the Hunter Society, and then you saw Ace's kids and everything. It was, and that was the episode at the end, I believe, where Mary was offered the choice of dying by Billy.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So all in all, that whole episode was like really very resonated with me a lot.
I like to see the progression of Hunter history. Like, we see the Men of Letters when it was very, like, again, like, pretentious a little bit, and then you
Scholarly.
have... Yeah, that sort of thing. And then you have that where it's sort of a society, and now where Sam and Dean are at, they just sort of hunt on their own. So I agree. That's super
Did anyone else pick up on the Clue-esque aspect of that episode? Like
who done it?
Who done it with the weapon in the wet room?
That's very true.
There were a lot of little Easter eggy references in that one.
But it was just a good... All these connections it made, I feel like if somebody hadn't watched Supernatural and they watched it, it was still a good, almost like slasher horror movie. One by one, people are getting picked off.
On the camaraderie with Jodie and everyone else, like, you realize it really flushed out Jodie's character, which has been one of my favorite
I
characters
know, I
ever.
love Jodie.
I mean, I feel like they have fleshed out Jodie. I think what the nice thing about that episode particularly was setting up Jodie, who's kind of like their adoptive mom, against Mary, who's their real mom, and having them meet.
And having Jodie give Mary advice, that was kind of
that
weird.
was really cool.
It was weird, but it was good.
Yeah.
That was kind of the perfect character to push Mary
She's
towards
so
Sam and
maternal.
Dean
Yeah.
by just saying, I would give anything to have any more time with
So,
Jodie's son.
what did everybody think about what Billy said at the end of that episode? She said, "What's dead stays dead." Does anybody think that that's going to be anything going forward, or?
Well, how many people died that are
I know
dead
that are-
still?
That's clearly not the philosophy
That's
of the
why
actual
Billy's
show.
so antagonistic, or it is so mean to Dean and Sam, is that she thinks they should have stayed dead.
So
Is
the
that
horseman
dead, though?
death is dead.
Is Billy going to take over that role? Is that even
That
a
would be really
possibility?
cool.
I love Billy. so
This
I
was
would like
Kelsey's big rant in the last podcast. She's like, "Why are people still dying when death
true.
is dead?"
I still don't understand.
Because there's
That's a really
still
good question.
reapers that are doing their job, I guess is the
Yeah,
best
but
explanation.
They don't have death.
That's the only explanation I can come up with. But then I'm like, well, then what was Death's point?
It's like being in a
Then.
workplace and your boss leaving, but you like still be in there like trying to do your job. I guess. I
Don't
don't
we
know.
all do that anyway?
That's true. I guess.
But
So
then
we're
maybe,
learning that the Reapers just have wonderful work ethic.
but then maybe maybe Billy is the start of an insurrection.
Maybe she's
where
a go-getter.
Yeah, they try to take on the job in a way that like the demons try to take on the King of Hell when that throne vacates. I don't know. That's a possibility. I mean, I feel like Mary is not long for this show because every time they bring back a family member, they don't last very long.
Which is so sad.
And I'm not even counting John, but he was one and done. The grandfather was one and done. I mean, I don't think she's long for this earth. Even if Amara the Darkness brought her back. And is she a god or is she not a god?
Are they coming back?
I believe they're coming back. Are they coming back this season?
No, probably not.
Probably not. They've got enough on their plate that they're kind of juggling and almost dropping. So, which I don't mean to say like I'm hating it because I don't. I agree. The Asa Fox episode is really good. I love the American Nightmare episode a lot. I didn't mind the Hitler episode only because it bred I Kill Hitler.
I actually saw a fan art where it's Christmas time and Dean gives everyone T-shirts that say
I killed Hitler,
which was great.
Is there a Doctor Who episode called Let's Kill Hitler?
Yes.
There is. Yes.
Maybe that's the other reason I didn't like it. It felt derivative. It's like, I've already seen this.
And the British season of Supernatural. They already have enough.
I do think the weakest episodes were the first two of the season, though, which was all about Valerie torturing Sam.
The ladies of
I didn't like this.
The ladies of the Men of Letters, yes.
I still like that one chick, though. I don't know. Susan, I guess we've decided what's her name. I still liked her.
don't know.
So,
like
are you gonna,
she
took
did.
on, like,
Esmeralda for
you're
all I
gonna get
know.
her card for Secretary's Day?
What?
You're gonna get her card for Secretary's Day?
I don't know.
She's dead.
So, whatever.
You can find out. You can write the actress a fan mail.
Maybe. I might. Call me.
If you're listening.
So, not to interrupt your talking points, but where does everybody think the season's going, and how do you think it's going to end? And how
That
do
would
you...
have been my next question.
Oh.
Because where we left at the mid-season finale, obviously the brothers are in federal custody. Castiel has lost the pregnant mistress, and he was like, what? Kelly, that's where we were left. And Crowley and Rowena bamfed out of there.
As they are want to do.
In the teaser trailer, they make it look like Castiel and Mary are going to team up and try to save the
I'm
boys.
so excited.
Spin-off!
I would watch
I
that.
feel like the
I would watch it, but it wouldn't last very long.
long.
I believe Lucifer will be back. Now, I don't know
agree.
if he'll be as Mark Pellegrino. One can only cross their fingers. But he's coming back to claim his baby. I'm positive that's going to happen.
I think
agree
there will
with
be
you.
a fight to see whether this child will be good or bad, and it'll be
Or
like the Winchesters.
allowed to live.
That as well. I think it'll definitely be like a bunch of parents trying to pull different ways, essentially. So
My wish is that Sam
Develops his powers again?
develops his powers again
Yes.
since they hit on it so much. I was like, don't tease us, only to like yank it away. Supernatural, Robert Singer, hello. Although I'm glad that he's the producer again.
I miss Robbie Thompson though. He wrote some of the best episodes, and then he left last season.
Oh, they come in and out.
I just think this season, for me in particular, because I've been a diehard for the entire time, this season needs to go out with a bang, or the show's going to go out with a whimper. I really think that if something doesn't change, then the show won't be around for another year or two. Now, season 13 has been announced and confirmed. And they talked about 14.
The official renewal hasn't come from the network, but the network president has said, we're going to 13.
I think she's actually, or whoever it is, has
Some man
said.
this time, I think.
Oh yeah, they've said as long as Jensen and Jared want to continue it, they will. So that could be for the next
As
10
long
years.
as they maintain their charming good looks.
Yeah,
Well, I also have this inkling, and maybe I'm wrong, and I don't want to put any ideas in anyone's heads, but to end a show called Supernatural at the end of season 13,
Yeah.
Yes,
just saying.
that's
Lucky
very true.
number.
I don't think it'll go more than like another 3 seasons, if that. Like I think it's.
Well, it's
fine
been
now.
8 past the original 5. It was, I mean, it's run its time,
Yeah.
I think
which
people
is terrible because I love it and I want it to continue forever. But
agree.
still,
Yeah, I think people just still watch it because it is a cult fan favorite kind of thing, and which is sort of the reason why I still watch it. So.
I mean, yeah, like look at the fact, like Misha, if you're listening, his autograph went for $150 at the last Comic-Con.
I know.
Jesus,
Why?
because he's an angel.
Supernatural cons
real
are
life.
super expensive,
I
and
would
people
love to
pay
go.
for them.
I meant just buying an autograph. I don't know why people.
No, I'm with you on that one. I don't either, but
Yeah.
But to be fair, if one came within a stone's throw at a time when I had money and the time to go, I would fork it over.
To go to the con or to get the
All of it.
autograph?
All of it.
so send your autographs to Cush Potatoes Unite and Kylie will pay you.
Or, no, I want to meet them.
Did you know? Did I
Listen
tell
to
you
Jared.
this? That my friend Heather bought me like a meet and greet with Misha Collins
Vanity.
and forgot to buy a ticket to the con. So I had a meet and greet with him and I couldn't go because the con was sold out. It was so sad. But I would pay to meet Misha Collins. I love him. I would pay $150 for his autograph if I had it and wasn't broke AF. Then I would.
It's kind of a dream to go to a Supernatural convention, but like the gold panel's like $600 just for that. Plus
I just
travel.
want to touch Jensen. Okay? There's
I thought you meant like touch on him. You were going to talk about him, but no, you meant touch.
Too until I saw
I
the
want
smile
him
on
to
her
give me a
face.
hug.
You can have
Oh,
like a-
BT Dubs.
Okay.
Where is what's her face? The redheaded chick. Now.
Which redhead?
Felicia Day?
When I really like what's her face.
The-
Abaddon?
Abaddon.
Abaddon.
No. The hunter geeky girl. Yes.
She died last season.
She
We're 10.
died.
No, she died
That's
10.
right.
She
Oh.
died and it was tragic.
It was
and
sad.
so
I
anticlimactic.
remember that now.
It was
and
real bloody, though.
Yeah.
We were
Okay.
very
Listen to
mad
the last
about
podcast.
it.
Felicia
I rant
Day.
about it. Allie
Yeah.
rant about it.
I just like picked
No,
up
and
on
now that you all say that, I remember that now.
Yeah,
It just
girl
stuck in my
crying.
head for some reason because we were talking about Comic-Con that she went to the mall.
Yeah, she goes
she
to a
does.
lot of cons. She's very like
She's so cool.
Felicia Day is
Felicia
awesome.
Day. That's
she's basically Charlie. Like, yeah. She's great. I don't know why they
She-
kicked her off.
I was
but-
very
Wasn't she
upset
a
when they
potential
I'm sad in my heart
Red
again.
Girl.
Slayer?
Wasn't she
So
what?
upset.
Potential slayer.
She was a potential
Yeah.
slayer.
the least annoying of them.
That is true.
I still don't understand the purpose of killing her off, that character Charlie off. Like,
That's
why?
an excellent
shock
question.
people.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
cried. Like,
Nobody
seriously,
else.
I was so upset. I'm still upset, damn it.
They've had so much
Bring her
loss.
back.
Like, let them have a little bit of happiness.
Because they
And
can't
Allie
let
did this
female
whole
characters
thing
stand.
about kill your
Yes.
gay tropes.
That too.
There was that, especially
I don't
women.
know. I think with the whole Supernatural series, there's been so much loss of the entire thing. It's just kind of like a stick for them. Like, okay, we have to kill somebody soon.
Exactly.
Let's call Robert Jordan and find out who we should kill off.
Yeah.
I know, but as I ranted about in the last podcast, it was so stupid because she went to Oz. She was the Queen of Oz. Then she came back, and then she died in a bathtub by
She
those
had her
idiots
arc, and it just didn't, like...
that they ended up killing 1, 2, 3 in an episode anyway. So it was
Oh, yeah.
really stupid.
Not Robert Jordan, George Martin. That's what I meant to say.
George R.R. Martin,
Yes.
as in Game of Thrones,
Yes.
as in he kills
Yeah.
off all the people.
Yes.
Yes.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
was
thought
a
you
little
knew the name
confused.
of the guy who negotiates the contracts.
I do. Would you like
Whoever
his
has the
number?
shortest contract, you're dead.
So,
2016, sponsored by George R.R. Martin. I've seen those memes.
He
They're
did
out there.
because he said, I directed 2016, and then he quoted it and said, oh, I'm
I saw
sorry.
that too.
Yeah, I retweeted it because it was funny. But yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts on what might happen in the second half of the season, or how you think the overall story is holding up?
I don't know what the story is yet,
I just
Yeah.
want
so I don't know if
Mary
it's holding.
There-
to do something cool.
I think there's too many pins in the bucket right now.
I agree.
Too many holes in the bucket. So the story's not really holding up for me right now. Water's leaking out everywhere. It's not holy water, so Lucifer's not dying, and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, they were out of holy water. They weren't packing.
Yeah.
That's true.
There you go.
How do you feel about the idea that there's going to be a 13th season?
I
The
love
same
the
way I
show.
felt about all the seasons. Like, I have so many mixed feelings because I do love this show, but I'm just worried it's going to end up fizzling out. And I don't want that to happen.
So you would rather it end now and not disappoint you later?
If they can all... I mean, I already feel like it's to a point where it might be fizzling out. So if they can find a strong ending, yes, I would rather they end it now.
I
I
agree.
almost wish they would do shorter seasons, not do
What?
more than
What?
20s.
What? Why?
I feel like it would last longer if they did.
I mean, I feel like...
That's entirely the opposite.
Really?
Because there's 22 seasons in a year. It lasts
I mean,
22
I
seasons.
episodes.
I feel like
Episodes.
they could tell
22
more
seasons.
stories and
22
have
episodes
less
in a
filler
year.
episodes.
Okay.
You mean if it was more like British TV, where they
Or
were like
Netflix,
shorter
Or Netflix.
seasons, and
Doesn't
they
have to go
take
British TV.
right? Well, but then they take more time writing the episodes and developing
So
the characters.
maybe-
I don't know
Yeah,
that
so
shorter
they
seasons
bake
are
off.
going to matter right now anymore.
think-
though,
I mean, I
because they've
think- I
done
don't think it is.
12 seasons of 20 plus episodes.
I think what they should do
Including
is
the
end
writer's
it
strike
strong and then do a spin-off of some kind.
Or a movie.
They set up a
Or
spin-off, and then
movie
it
would be cool.
tanked. But, yeah.
I think
What?
they could have
Wait, whoa.
Remember that episode where it was like all the monsters like had their own like mafia almost? I think it was in like season 8 or 9.
I do, yeah.
That was
It's
like a
backdoor
pilot,
pilot.
yeah. And then it didn't work out. Like they were totally ready for that, and it just
They
no
were-
one
Yeah,
was
though,
interested in it.
I don't think that would have worked out. Like, I remember that episode.
Yeah,
it
it was-
didn't. It kind of fizzled.
It was weird. It was a weird episode because it betrayed a lot of what Supernatural was, and so yeah.
I think
They
if they
just
do a
go for it.
spin-off, it has to be like one of the main
One main character, like
you know,
Misha.
kind of like Buffy did with Angel. And, yeah, like either Misha or Crowley. I wouldn't watch it.
Or
you know,
like Mary back in the 50s.
that would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I
be
would
cool.
watch the heck out of that.
Or Azazel.
He's dead.
But I mean, a
like,
spin-off
way
of
back
like
when.
Oh.
him like
Prequel?
50 years ago. Yeah.
Prequel spinoff?
That would be great. Yeah.
I don't know. I think they tried the spinoff. I don't
They
know
did.
that it's going. I don't know that they will. I mean, I think when Supernatural goes, it goes.
I want the
It will live
brothers-
on in comic books and graphic novels and merchandising and
In our
conventions
in our hearts.
and in our hearts. But I don't know that once it exits TV, that it's going to actually have until like maybe in 10 years they reboot it. Jensen and
Like
Jared
Firefly?
say, "Hey, I'm kind of missing it. My kids are older. Let's come back." That's what happens. Yeah.
I wanted to end bloody with the brothers dying. Like, I think that would be in true Supernatural fashion, but them staying dead. Unless, of course, they did reboot it, but in that sense,
they would. If they had died, they would have to die in some major self-sacrificing moment.
Exactly, yeah. With each other.
If it was just some random death, I would. God, I'd be so mad. I'd be furious. I'd be ranting on social media for decades.
Anything else about Season 12, what we've seen so far, or what you hope to see in the second half of the season?
Hope to see the return of the Antichrist.
Okay. The kid
the child
from the
that had
previous
powers,
season.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
same.
That'd be interesting.
Allie says the same thing.
Yes.
Nick, Jen, Kelsey.
Sure.
I kind of want God and Amara to
Yes.
Come back.
come back. I don't know,
Okay.
either figure out what's
Eventually.
going on or have a feud or Amara turns back to bad and reneges on the Mary and takes her
already
away
have
or
a
makes her
feud?
evil. I don't know. Like, yeah, they do.
1,000-year-long feud, if not longer.
Because it hasn't been explained.
3,000 years.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm just along for the ride.
All right.
Oh, one thing I do want to see. I want to see Sam's powers return.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I do.
Sam's power.
That's my number one wish.
It was the one.
my number
thing-
2 wish is if Lucifer's back, it's Mark Pellegrino. doing
In
it.
seasons 1 through 5, like that was my one thing. Like I love the fact that Sam had powers. It gave him a whole darker side and like
Well,
a different side than just a normal hunter.
Yeah, and especially because he himself is so, like, sensitive.
Moody.
And it made himself...
sensitive.
Oh, Moose.
Yeah, it definitely made him... I think it put a lot of guilt on his part, and that was what was so intriguing about his
Especially when he went soulless, which is a whole nother
Yes.
topic.
character. Yeah.
Well, and it might be interesting for him to have those powers now that he's gone through all of these other things. He has a different vantage point.
You probably wouldn't use him knowing Sam. You'd probably be like, no, that's evil. I don't want to do evil.
I don't know. I think he's blurred the line much more recently than he
Yeah.
used to.
I mean, I just feel like at this point they both don't really care. I mean, they want to save people, bottom line, but the means to getting to that is, like you said, a little bit obscured in terms of, like, good and bad, so...
Where do you guys think Crowley and Rowena are going? Does
I have
anybody
no
have
idea.
any
I
idea?
have
no idea.
Maybe they made a beeline for hell because they thought Lucifer was gone.
Or
That would be
spin-off.
interesting.
I don't want that specific.
I don't either, and they're my favorite characters. I would watch it.
Just because Rowena's on it?
Yeah. I think she's cool.
Crazy.
I enjoy her a
I
lot,
like Crowley.
but I enjoy both of them.
I like Crowley.
See, you
I
guys like Crowley. You watch it for Crowley. I watch it for
I don't think that they have any like future as themselves though.
Yeah, I think they'll have to kind of either major band forces with Sam and Dean or just kind of... Because I think if they stay in between at this point, it just won't really work out, so...
They should
Maybe-
work
maybe
with
in
the
the
British
Go ahead.
and just
Sorry.
clean up all the vampires and werewolves. Like, that should be the rest of the show, is cleaning up all the monsters.
Nobody
And they
likes
can die
a
happy.
bow tie on the ending. No.
Or not. I
I
don't know.
like a bow tie on the ending sometimes. I don't know about... I'm not ready to talk about the end of Supernatural. I'm just trying to talk about the end of the season.
I just think that this will be the end of Supernatural. This season or
season.
the next season will be.
Well, I don't think it's going to be this
I'm
season.
not being pessimistic.
No.
I'm being a realist.
It has until at least 14.
Nope.
That's my prediction.
14 is actually confirmed, but not confirmed by the
No,
network.
no,
13
yeah, I
is
meant, like,
confirmed,
I
but not
think...
confirmed
Okay,
by the network.
No, yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
beyond 13 is.
I just meant that, like, within the future, like, a prediction, like, I'm pretty sure 14 will be around its last, if not its last.
I can see Rowena making a play to be either the matron of not the Antichrist, but the son of Satan.
Raising the spawn.
Maybe trying to raise Satan's spawn, or trying to get her fingers in there. If she reverts back to her old ways, which I was
I
really...
was gonna say maybe because she was saying she wanted to give it up and just marry some rich guy and
That could be interesting.
Well, and I hope we don't have a repeat of Crowley trying to raise the son of Satan, the whole darkness thing over and over again, so I hope that doesn't happen.
Are you going to keep watching?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I love yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
If
thought
only to
that.
hear I Killed Hitler and Moose and Squirrel.
At minimum. This time, what I would like to do is thank Jeremy, Jen, Nick, Kelsey, and Allie for joining me once again to talk about Supernatural. We, of course, will reconvene at the end of Season 12, regardless of whether it goes on to Season 13 or not, though it most likely will. I just wanted to let you know that CPU is produced by Back Pocket Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, and hails from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play. This means give us stars, preferably 5, or comment on YouTube so that we can spread the word more effectively. If you have suggestions on shows we might consider that we aren't already covering, contact us at our website where you can also subscribe, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com. You can send us an email at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com, or you can contact us via Facebook or Twitter, though we're adding new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time. And as always, we have several more new episodes coming down the pike, covering shows we are already covering and not already covering. But either way, we're available and searchable all over the web, so find us. Make sure you subscribe to the blog, our channels, our social media accounts, and stay up on new events and episodes. Until that time, Supernatural can be streamed through season 11 on Netflix, but you can access their newer episodes on the CW streaming app or through the CW website. Until next time, keep listening, keep watching, stay tuned, bye!